But when I saw this video of him in 2020, I was shocked. In today's video, I'm going to talk about John McDougall and the Starch Solution. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my resources below. If you want to speak with me directly, there is also a link in the box. Let's talk about John McDougall. I've been following John McDougall for quite some time now. I remember I first found him in my early to mid 20s. I remember when he gave that TEDx talk in Fremont, California. He's from Northern California somewhere. He's long been a proponent of a high-starch diet. So one of his favorite foods is the potato.
Yeah, I know. Another baked potato. But at least I had something healthy to order.
Now that appeals to me because I love potatoes too. I love sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes are one of the best foods, I think. His diet is very high in carbs, and that appeals to me because I'm somebody who naturally eats a lot of carbs. What is a high carb diet? I think anything that's 60% or more. I don't do like 80-10-10, that's really extreme, but I'm probably 60-65. That doesn't mean that's the best diet for you. I'm just saying that's what I like. And so when I hear somebody say eat starch and lose weight and be fit, that appeals to me. I remember I read his book, The Starch Solution, about 9-10 years ago. It's a great book. I like the concepts in it. I think he has a really solid hypothesis. What he says is that every major culture in civilization has thrived on one major starch or grain. So you look at Asian cultures, they eat a lot of rice. You look at the Incas and the Aztecs, and they ate a lot of sweet potatoes. You look at cultures in Africa, they eat a lot of taro, sorghum.
Is that there's a diet that best supports human health. And that diet is centered around starch, like rice or potatoes, or sweet potatoes, corn, taro.
Then you look at the Middle East, they eat a lot of wheat, Mexico, corn. The list goes on. So he thinks the ideal diet is one that is high in starch, high in carbohydrates, and minimizes animal fat and fat in general. He's not a big fan of animal foods, going so far as to order a Whopper without the burger.
All right, I want a veggie Whopper, and that means no meat. Okay, I'd like to have lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles, a little bit of ketchup.
After all, you can order it your way. What's that old song? Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Well, John McDougall would hold the burger. He would go to a salad bar and load his plate with fruits and vegetables.
This is one of my favorite salad bars. I can just go crazy here. You start out with a little green salad, maybe add a couple extra tomatoes.
Overeating isn't the problem, says Dr. McDougall. The problem is we eat too many foods that don't have a lot of nutrients and are too high in fat. And if you can minimize that caloric density, then you will naturally lose weight and be healthy. There's a lot more to it than that. You should read The Starch Solution if you want the whole theory. His high starch diet has spawned disciples. There are YouTube channels devoted to promoting this kind of diet. He has thousands and thousands of fans. I remember going to his forum back in the day and talking about high starch diet with other people, and they would share recipes and tips. He seemed to live the life, right? He was exercising in really exotic places. He was eating really healthy food. He was giving speeches. I think he had his own clinic up there in California. He probably ate 3 delicious high starch meals every day. If somebody was going to be a paragon of health, it was Dr. McDougall.
Exercise is a really important part of a total health picture. You need to find an exercise that you really enjoy.
I'm not saying it's a cult, but a lot of people have done this diet and gotten good results. I do have reservations about the high starch diet, and one of them is the renunciation of all animal foods. I don't eat a lot of animal foods myself. I include some fish, some eggs, some yogurt. Okay, I don't overdo it. I don't eat a bucket of fried chicken each day. But I think there are good reasons to eat animal foods. There are omega-3 fatty acids, there is cholesterol, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
I'd like to have a garden salad, but I want you to leave off all the cheese and the egg.
There's heme iron, there's B12, there's a lot of things. The egg yolk contains tons of nutrients. So there's no reason, from my perspective, to completely abandon these foods. If you have ethical reasons, fine. But from a physiological standpoint, I think there is reason to include animal foods in your diet. He also doesn't like cheese, which is great because I hate cheese too.
No cheese.
No cheese?
So lots of potatoes and no cheese. What could be better? He's not a big fan of oil either, not even vegetable oils like olive oil.
At the salad bar, choose low-fat items. In the salad dressing section, you want to find a product with good taste
and no oil.
If he eats a salad, he doesn't include oil. None of his recipes include any oil. A lot of people who promote high carb diets, plant-based diets, completely eliminate oil from their diet. Another thing I don't like about Dr. McDougall's diet is that it is very low in cholesterol. I think we know better now. Back in the day, 80s, 90s, cholesterol was the bad guy. So you wanted to eat foods that were low in cholesterol. That's why you didn't eat a lot of animal fat, because a lot of animal foods contain cholesterol. Even low-fat foods like shrimp contain a lot of cholesterol. But we have more data now, we have more research, and if you reduce your cholesterol intake, your body can produce more cholesterol, and vice versa. If you eat a lot of cholesterol, your body produces less endogenous cholesterol. I personally don't count cholesterol. I don't even look at cholesterol. I don't even consider it in my diet. Our bodies have mechanisms to keep things in check, to keep things in balance. So in summary, what do I really like? I like high carbs, I like potatoes, I like no cheese. I like the high volume too. If you eat a large volume of food, you will naturally eat less. So what don't I like? No cholesterol, no animal products. I don't like any diet that cuts out entire food groups. My biggest complaint about the high-starch diet is that it contains very little fat. I don't eat a lot of fat myself, but you need fat for various reasons. You need it for hormone production, you need it for bone protection, so if you fall, you have some sort of cushion. Very low-fat diets are not good for your long-term health. And I saw a video of John McDougall that was filmed in 2020 because he's talking about the coronavirus. And when I saw the video, I almost didn't recognize Dr. McDougall. I couldn't believe it when I saw him. When I saw his TEDx talk from 2012, I believe, he looked good. He was in his early to mid 60s, he looked vibrant, he looked very healthy. But when I saw this video of him in 2020, I was shocked.
A situation, and whether or not you're going to die depends upon how healthy you are, how many what we call comorbid conditions you have, like diabetes. And
so here's a guy who's been promoting this high starch, high carb diet for decades now, but he looks worse than a lot of people his age. I'm guessing he's in his early 70s now. And compared to the way he looked at the TEDx talk in Fremont, he looks 20 years older. I don't know him personally. I don't know what he eats. All I can tell you is what I see.
a truth that you can see objectively.
Yes, a truth that I can see objectively, and I'm just telling you what I see. He has big grandpa glasses, indicating to me that he has some sort of visual defect. His skin is really white, his hair is very white, his face looks gaunt, like he has no fat. He has that really thin neck. I don't know if you've noticed, but people who lose a lot of weight, who are really skinny, have this really tiny neck. I remember when I was at my lowest weight, like 53, 54 kilos, which is like 119, 120 pounds. I had that really thin neck. It was like a giraffe neck. And to me, that's a telltale sign that somebody weighs too little. We should judge a diet not by how fast it helps you lose weight, but its long-term effects. And to me, the ultimate test is, are the people who are promoting this diet healthier in the long run? Well, we have some results right here. I don't know about you, but when I look at him, I don't see somebody who's healthy. My parents are a few years younger than he is, and they look better than Dr. McDougall. I just think it's ironic that somebody who promotes health, promotes this diet for decades, and decades, and has so many disciples and so many fans, doesn't seem to age better than anybody else. I remember years ago there was this UCLA professor, I think it was UCLA, and he said he was going to live 120 years, and he ended up dying at the age of 80. Now that's Y to the right, okay, that's 40 years off. Maybe he's really healthy. I don't know. I don't know him personally. I don't have his lab work. He's a doctor, I'm not. He has the MD, I don't. But he looks like he's an 85-year-old. I mean, I see patients every day who are in their late 70s, 80s, 90s, and some of them look better than this guy. What do you think? Is Dr. McDougall healthy? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my resources below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them and I'll see you there.